Good afternoon. My name is Dan Glazier, and I have the honor and privilege of being the Executive Director of Legal Services of Eastern Missouri. Our Common Good Awards event is an annual celebration of those partners in our community and beyond who truly do help us to make a difference in the lives of those we serve throughout our 21 county service area. Well, today's event is certainly unique in that we are celebrating with you virtually. Although we may be remote in how we are coming to you, the deep appreciation and gratitude we feel towards our honorees and all of you who are with us today is anything but remote. It is heartfelt and it is very real. Our honorees and you, our supporters, have demonstrated through deeds and support your steadfast commitment to the critical values of equal access to justice for all. We are so glad you are with us for this awards event. Yeah, we may be physically apart, but we are together in our absolute resolve to provide, as we like to say, action on behalf of those in need. Justice, including racial justice, for those who are seeking it. And hope to all who want a better life for themselves and their loved ones. Our awardees we celebrate today all help us to achieve these critical goals. To them we say thank you. To you we say thank you. And now I'd like to also say thank you to Chris Nagus, KMOV reporter, who will be serving as our host for today's events and wants to go over a few of the guidelines for what you will be experiencing today. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome. Hope everyone's having a great Thursday. I'm Chris Nagus from KMOV Channel 4 here in St. Louis. It is my pleasure to serve as the MC for today's 2020 for the Common Good Awards presentation. As an investigative reporter, I have reported on legal services' important work to make sure that everyone is treated fairly and equally. I know how important the work that legal services does is for the St. Louis community, and the impact it has on thousands of families each year is something I've personally witnessed. As such, it is my great honor to help recognize the individuals and organizations that work alongside legal services to right wrongs and make sure that families and individuals have an equal opportunity for justice.
Thanks, Chris, and thank you for all you do to shine a light on injustice and needs in the St. Louis region. I'm Karen Nelson-Warren, Associate Director of Administration and Community Outreach at Legal Services. As an 18-year veteran at Legal Services, I've had the pleasure of attending many Common Good Award luncheons. Like many other things, this event is different this year as we gather remotely to come together to celebrate the invaluable contributions of volunteers and partners to help us deliver action, justice, hope in 21 counties in Eastern Missouri. To help you understand the scope of the volunteer pro bono work at Legal Services, last year alone, more than 520 volunteers contributed more than 27,000 hours, valued at more than $1.7 million, for work on more than 365 client cases and free legal clinics. When we say we simply couldn't do it without you, we mean it.
And before we get started, a couple of tips to help you enjoy this event and to participate fully. To the right of this presentation, you'll notice the live chat window. It's on mobile devices. The chat window will appear just below us. Now, please feel free to add your comments and your congratulations for the awardees so everyone can see that you are participating. Also, please feel free to explore the Legal Services website after the awards are over to learn more about the work this organization does. The website has a volunteer section where you can look at how you, too, can also help to make a gift in honor of today's awardees. please visit the donation page on their website, www.lsem.org. Now, for this year's awards, I'm going to send it back over to Dan Glazier.
The Robert Walston Chubb Award, our highest honor, goes annually to an individual who has made significant and sustained contributions to the work of legal services of Eastern Missouri. This year's recipient is Tom Minogue, chairman of Thompson Coburn, who is stepping down from that position this year after serving 20 years in that role. As Thompson Coburn chairman, Tom has been an invaluable ally and partner to our work at Legal Services. 15 years ago, under Tom's leadership, the William B. Gary Chair was established at Legal Services to fund an attorney in our office to work exclusively on educational advocacy for disadvantaged children. That chaired position remains today. And in that period of time, Thompson Coburn has donated over $750,000 to allow us to do foundational educational advocacy for children in need. In addition, under Tom's stewardship, Thompson Coburn has been a leader in pro bono representation. Most recently, under Tom's direction, Thompson Coburn became one of the inaugural law firms in our most recent pro bono project, the Neighborhood Vacancy Initiative, which serves distressed city neighborhoods. Tom's support for legal services has been unwavering, has been total, and has been profound. For all these reasons, he is an extremely deserving recipient of the 2020 Robert Walston Chubb Award.
We at Thompson Coburn do a lot of different things with legal services. Our lawyers volunteer on pro bono projects like landlord-tenant cases. But what we're most proud of is the Bill Gary Chair. It helps fund a dedicated LSEM lawyer who focuses exclusively on educational access for special needs children. And it is one of the signal pro bono initiatives of our place. I think everyone in our profession remembers the first thing we did as a lawyer. And then as we stood up, we raised our right hand, we got sworn in by a judge, and we took an oath. And part of that oath was to represent the indigent and help people in the community in need. And we take that oath very seriously at Thompson Coburn. And one way we are confident we fulfill that oath is by supporting LSEM. As lawyers, we know how important legal services are to the dispossessed and the underprivileged. Sometimes there's literally just no place else to go for support. But sometimes I also think we forget about what a shining example LSEM is to the entire community about what's good and right in our profession. There are a number of things that we do besides what I've already talked about in terms of supporting the Bill Gary Chair and various types of individualized cases. And one of those is the Neighborhood Vacancy Initiative. That's an important city initiative in St. Louis. The Neighborhood Vacancy Project caught our attention because we are headquartered downtown city of St. Louis. We made a conscious decision to stay downtown 15 years ago. And by making that commitment, we doubled down on our own commitments to help downtown continue to progress and the city continue to progress. And when you think about things that need to be done for our city to prosper and continue to move forward, the Neighborhood Assistant Project was a pitch down the middle of the plate. The Neighborhood Vacancy Project was and is an area in which legal services can make a difference. And so that's why we found it to be something of immediate interest to us.
And joining us via Zoom to accept the award is Tom Minogue.
Well, thanks, Dan. Thanks, everybody at LSEM. I must say that after 40 years in the practice, this is still a first for me, first virtual award, certainly something I'll always remember. Dan told me one thing I'm supposed to do is hold this thing up so everybody can see it. So here it is. And besides holding this up, I don't want to repeat what's in the video, but I would like to share just a couple of thoughts. And one thought I'd like to share is, even though it's my name on this thing, this award is not about me at all. This award is really about celebrating the special mission and all the fine work that's done by everybody at LSEM. And is also about the special relationship that we at Thompson Coburn have with, actually, I'd say the special place that we at Thompson Coburn have in our hearts for LSEM. I'm fond of saying that if you want to figure out and find where in the world are the Atticus Finches in the 21st century, I know where they're at. They're working at LSEM every day. I'm also fond of saying that we do a lot of wonderful things at Thompson Coburn, support a lot of great causes, but there's nothing that we do better than support LSEM. I know that lots of my colleagues at Thompson Coburn, their name is on this award along with mine in spirit. And on behalf of all of those colleagues, I want to thank everybody. And on a personal level, it is not only humbling, but sort of astonishing to receive an award that's gone to people like Tom Eagleton and Jack Danforth and Judge Titleman and Limbaugh and Judge McMillan. And I could work for another 40 years and not contribute half as much as they have. And so thank you, Dan. Thank you, LSEM. We and all of us at Thompson Coburn will always treasure this. Thank you very much.
All right, Dan, congratulations again, and thank you for those kind words about LSEM. Our next award is the Richard B. Titleman Award, given this year, and it's dedicated for volunteer service to legal services and the community. It is very fitting that for our first ever virtual event, this award is being presented for an achievement in technology. David Menninger. Now, Dave is not the typical legal services volunteer. He's not an attorney, he's not a paralegal or even a social worker, but his commitment to social justice is just as strong. Dave's work has changed the way legal services uses technology to deliver services to its clients. Working with the Neighborhood Vacancy Initiative, Dave created a mapping tool that allows staff to track clients' needs in real time, identify gaps in services, and to be more proactive in case development. Not only does Dave's work help expand the capacity of legal services work, but he also volunteers with a variety of other community efforts, including the creation of STL Response, the dashboard of available COVID-19 resources. Dave's work has helped move technology forward and is at the forefront of legal advances. He continues to inspire us to think about how to use technology to serve clients and to engage volunteer resources to support legal services.
I went straight into Silicon Valley after graduating college, and I was what evolved into the field of interaction design. And along the way, I was doing also a lot of programming to help simulate the kinds of things we wanted to test and research with people. And the more I did that, I also enjoyed the process of creating experiences. I think it was November of 2018, my wife had heard about a weekend symposium, and it was on vacancy in the city of St. Louis. And in the course of his presenting, he shared like an online interactive map of vacancies in St. Louis. And there were a couple points where it was kind of painfully slow. So I was like, maybe I could do something for Peter and help out with that. And I felt like it was a good fit for what I could do. The map that I worked on with Peter Hoffman, we call it the Vacancy Explorer. And basically what it is, it compiles city data from a variety of sources. And you can basically color codes all of the parcels across the city based on how likely they're a problem property or a vacant property. And therefore, it makes Peter and his team working on vacancy able to better pinpoint what's going to be a good case for them to pursue. So it really feels good in that regard. It's a good teamwork effort. In terms of what motivates me, I feel like all you have to do is drive north of the Central West End, and it doesn't take long to see this kind of impact. The historical impact of redlining is tantamount to dropping a time-lapse atomic bomb over a community. And it just feels like if I can do anything that does something to reverse some of that course, some of that trajectory, then gosh, it's well worth it.
What Dave may not know is that many of his family and friends from all over the country are joining us today to celebrate his award due to the covert efforts of his wife, Monica. So everyone watching for Dave, please say hi to him on your chat feature as he joins us live to accept the award.
Thank you. It's truly an honor to receive this award. Richard Titleman left an amazing legacy, and I feel privileged to be associated with it. With a fifth of St. Louis's properties being vacant, this is incredibly important work, and this award represents a huge amount of support and teamwork. First, I'd like to thank my wife, Monica Eppinger, for introducing me to this opportunity and her ongoing support. Her work enables my work. And I would also definitely like to express my deep appreciation for the entire vacancy team at Legal Services. Our fearless leader, Peter Hoffman, Matt, Latasha, Brittany, Melissa, and all of the other volunteers and interns working on this project. Sincere kudos to you. And last but not least, I'd like to give a shout out to the Vacancy Collaborative, the St. Louis Vacancy Collaborative, and all the people working with it, especially Tara Abishan and Dana Malkus. They've been really great partners. So thank you again for the honor.
Thank you for those kind words, Dave, and congratulations. Our next award is the Melton M. Lewis Equal Justice Award, which is given to an awardee whose volunteer service helps create equity in the community. And another first, this year, Legal Services is presenting an award to an out-of-state partner. The Equal Justice Award is being given jointly to two law firms who partnered with Legal Services on groundbreaking litigation to enforce the legal rights of homeless students statewide. Arnold & Porter, an international law firm with offices in Chicago, and Public Counsel, a nonprofit law firm based in Los Angeles, served as co-counsel with Legal Services to represent a homeless student in the Riverview Gardens School District. Both partners made numerous trips to St. Louis, argued important motions, contributed to critical briefings, and provided hundreds of hours of pro bono work over the past 2 years. In February 2020, a consent decree was reached, which implements significant changes in the policies and practices, not just for Riverview Gardens School District, but for all school districts throughout Missouri. The commitment of Arnold & Porter to this complex systemic litigation and the experience of public counsel and education rights law were critical to the success of the case and provides a model for future private bar involvement with impact litigation. The outstanding litigation support offered by these two partners truly exemplifies the commitment to equal justice that the Melton M. Lewis Award honors.
Arnold & Porter first became involved with Legal Services thanks to Public Counsel. Public Counsel reached out to our firm to assist Legal Services in preparing and filing a lawsuit against Riverview Gardens School District and the state, which sought to ensure that homeless students in St. Louis get the education and educational resources they deserve, and which are required under the law. I personally became involved when a partner at my firm reached out to me about this opportunity back in 2018. I started working on the case shortly before the complaint was filed and have been involved in working up the case since then.
We brought this suit under McKinney-Vento to obtain better transportation for students, access to the classroom, and trauma-related services. The litigation was ultimately successful, and after a lot of hard work, we were able to get a consent decree with the school district and with the state to implement better policies and procedures for homeless students in Missouri.
With respect to what motivates me to dedicate my time to helping others, I appreciate being in a position where I can give up my time and efforts to help those less fortunate than myself. I am particularly drawn to those issues that affect children, especially in the educational sector. I personally benefit from this type of work by getting to see the effect that my efforts and the efforts of my team have on improving the situation of the individuals that I represent. It goes a long way to know that I have had even a small impact on improving their future prospects.
Arnold & Porter is a large law firm that has one of the most robust pro bono programs in the country. It's important for us to work with legal programs in the community, such as legal services, to work together and bring forth the best case possible for our clients. In our last case, LCM was instrumental in understanding Missouri law, as well as working with each of our clients to make sure they understood the best way to represent them.
I'm Mark Rosenbaum from Public Counsel, and on behalf of all of us, Lisa Hartz, Will Lacker, and myself, we want to thank Legal Services of Eastern Missouri for this very meaningful award. It's meaningful because of what it stands for. It stands for the fact that for the first time, young people and their families who already facing the most extraordinary challenge is a society that doesn't respect individuals, that judges people based on their economic status, can now go to school and have a decent chance of meeting their potential. That wouldn't have happened without Legal Services of Eastern Missouri and your amazing staff. I know that when Elisa and I first arrived in St. Louis to meet with Luz and Susie, what first struck us was the relationships you had built. Everywhere we went, community groups, individuals, families, those with whom we were privileged to talk, what made things happen was the respect that that your office had achieved in terms of individuals treating them with their pain, their sorrow, their joys, and what their life was all about. You're an amazing office. And you're an incredibly resourceful office. I wasn't at the critical negotiations in Jefferson City, but I've heard the story enough times to know it's true. On a essential occasion, it was clear that the negotiations weren't happening. It had been a very long day. People were tired, nerves were frayed, and maybe most of all, people were really hungry, and there was no food around. It was late. And your leader, Joel, saved the day. He said, let me see what I can do. He went out, started going around the building, and when he came back several minutes later, he had with him a smorgasbord of junk food, potato chips, Doritos, Skittles, enough to get us through. And some would say that that was the turning point in the case. What made it most exceptional is that I was told that when Joel went out and found that vending machine, he didn't have his wallet with him, he didn't have any change, he didn't have any money, and he didn't have a credit card. It's a pleasure to get this award, and most of all to have relationships into the future with you all that I hope will materialize in more opportunities to partner. Thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you all in person one day, and hopefully the not too distant future.
An amazing story right there. And joining us to accept the award is Caitlin Micah, an associate with Arnold & Porter in Chicago, and Will Lacker of Public Counsel in Los Angeles.
Well, thank you very much for this award. I'll hold it up so everyone can see. But not to repeat what we've both said in our videos, But I did want to touch on what Mark just said about Joel and all of the team. When we were brought in on this case back in 2018, it was with welcoming arms that Legal Services invited us into their group and really made us a part of the team immediately from the start. And Joel, being the leader of the group, has really been instrumental in getting us to the point where we are and really managing to achieve this equity for the community, which is the purpose of this award, and to see the impact that our work has had through the many hours that we've spent on this and the teamwork that has shown through all of this. It really means a lot. And not only am I honored to have been a part of this work and to have had the opportunity to work with both Legal Services and Public Counsel on this case for the past 2 years and in our continuing efforts even to today. It's really an honor to be able to be in a position to accept this award on behalf of my firm as well. Arnold & Porter has a robust legacy with pro bono work, and to add this work to our legacy is just really important to us, and we really appreciate the honor. So I'll end with that and turn it over to Will, but thank you very, very much for this opportunity.
Thank you all so much for this honor. Mark Rosenbaum, the director of our Opportunity Under Law project at Public Counsel, who you saw in the earlier video, wanted to be here today, but he had an emergency come up and unfortunately was unable to join virtually this afternoon. He asked me to convey our sincere thanks on behalf of everyone at Public Counsel. And just to echo what Kate was saying, it's been an absolute privilege to work alongside Joel, Lisa, Amanda, Luce, Susie, and the entire Legal Services team for the past several years. And we're really, really proud of what we were able to accomplish in partnership with LSEM on behalf of these incredibly resilient students and families. So thank you again.
All right, and thank you. Because of the magic of Zoom, they're able to join us from Los Angeles and Chicago today. Moving along as we approach the 12:30 half hour here, our next award is the Eddie Mae Binion Award, given to an awardee whose dedication to improve their community is inspiring. This year's award recognizes the Wellston Tenant Association members. In 2016, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development informed Wellston tenants that they would be relocated to other communities and their homes would be demolished. The Wellston Tenant Association members followed up, and they decided that no one should be forced to move away from their hometown and that affordable housing should be preserved and not destroyed. They understand that systemic racism has caused disinvestment in and the deterioration of Black neighborhoods, so they partnered with Legal Services to demand support for their investment, and they got investment in Wellston's future instead of the dismantling of another Black community. In 2020, their demands were met. The Housing Authority of St. Louis County has dedicated funds supporting the City of Wellston's plan for redeveloping the existing HUD housing, and every tenant affected was offered the opportunity to remain in Wellston or receive a subsidy for housing elsewhere in St. Louis County. Thanks to the members of the Wellston Tenant Association, the City of Wellston will see new investment and new opportunity.
We moved out here in '68. And I can remember what it was then, and I look at it now, and it just brings tears to my eyes. And I felt that anything I could do to try to help preserve and rebuild and help the people out here in Wellston. I was trying to get a decent place to live and to help keep Wellston afloat. We were going to all the meetings, and we were thinking that they were going to help us out financially and fix up some of the complexes out here in Wellston. Then all of a sudden we heard they were going to close them down, and, you know, everybody had to move and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right, you know? So I said, it should be something that I can do. And we were going to a meeting around at St. Augustine with Sister Carol, and she got a gist of what we were saying. And that's when she introduced us to Lisa, the best lawyer in the world. Yeah. Who has been helping us through this whole process.
I work for the Wellston School District, and I moved out here in 2001. And I love Wellston. We need public housing in every city you go in because these people don't, a lot of them still living on the poverty line.
My parents been out here since 1969. I went to the middle schools out here. I graduated from the high school out here in 1978. So I've just been back in Wellston now for 5 years. And I know what it was back then, and I know what it can be again.
Yeah, I've been in Wellston 11 years, and I got involved because, you know, we needed some improvement with the housing and with our seniors, and it makes me feel good that we got help, you know, with the leaders to stop the demolishing of Wellston.
I wanted to stay because I have family and friends that still stay out here, you know. And I think it's just a shame the way history has shown the way they do people of color that don't stand up for themselves and say something when they see it's not right.
It's just disturbing that the amount of people that once they gave Section 8 voucher, they had them thinking that they just had to leave. That saddens me. Because Wellston is just like Ms. Flora said, it's a diamond in the rough. I know how it was back in the 60s. I know what it looked like. We love getting out and going shopping and, you know, having a good time. And then to see it looking like this now, that's sad.
We just want to bring Wellston back.
We're going to stand on this and we're going to work through this and we're going to fight until everything is done for what we're asking them for the Wellston, you know, community. We're going to fight. Oh, we're going to give them a fight now.
Yeah.
And joining us to accept the award are members of Wellston Tenant Association and Legal Services Attorney, Lisa D'Souza.
My name is Flora Mix, and I'm the president of the Wellston Tenant Association. And on behalf of myself, Ms. Mamie Solomon, who's our secretary/treasurer, Ms. Anna Thorpe, who's our vice president, and Mr. Herman White, who's our sergeant at arms. I just want to say how much I appreciate this and how much I appreciate the work that Lisa has done with us within the past couple of years to help us in our journey. I know that the Eddie Mae Binion Award is special, but the work we're doing is also special. So I'm just doing what God put me here to do for my people. And I appreciate it. And I thank you very much on behalf of the Wellston Tenant Association.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mix, and a special thank you to the Wellston Tenant Association. We really appreciate you all. And on to our next award, the F. William McAlpin Pro Bono Award, given to a volunteer attorney in recognition of long-standing commitment to legal services. This year, the award is given to Stuart Berkowitz. Stuart first came to legal services as an intern in the 1970s and has been a volunteer lawyer with legal services for his entire career of more than 40 years. His work with legal services focuses primarily on appeals for unemployment benefits. He has served hundreds of clients over the years, often making a difference for clients that results in family stability and security. Recently, when the COVID-19 crisis created an unprecedented surge in unemployment benefit applications, Stuart took the lead on a project to train legal services staff in the complex processes of state unemployment benefits in order to meet the needs of first-time clients filing for benefits. He helped create new intake protocols, develop new assistance models, and identify new ways to help clients in need. During the pandemic, Stuart retired, and he is temporarily sheltering in Jefferson City. He could have stepped back at this difficult time, but instead he stepped up to the challenge. We are proud to present this award to Stuart Berkowitz for his lifetime of dedicated service to pro bono work and the clients of legal services.
My first job out of law school was at the Land of Lincoln in East St. Louis. After 2 years, I was lobbied by Dave Landard to move over to St. Louis Legal Aid. And I worked as a staff attorney for legal services for another 5 years. And since then, I've always done pro bono work with attorneys at Legal Aid. So it's been part of my DNA for over 40 years. I retired from active practice about a year ago. And I just kept telling him, I said, something will come along that will look interesting. Well, we have a pandemic. So I assisted with Jim and a lot of staff at Legal Aid to sort of get up to speed on dealing with a totally new federal program that was going to be funneled through the employment security at the state of Missouri. And that was both challenging and it's ongoing. It's happening right now. But really, I mean, the bottom line is I enjoy it. You know, when I think back of all the cases I've done, the cases that I think made the most biggest difference in the people's lives was the difference between getting something like unemployment compensation and not getting it. And the clients were so happy that somebody would help them. I just can't describe the feeling that you get when you do something that you feel good about. The people you work with at Legal Aid are the greatest people in the world. The gratitude I get from the clients, the cards I get, the thank yous. I mean, you know, so the bottom line is it's a lot of fun. Legal Aid makes a difference in people's lives in terms of housing, employment, healthcare. Legal Aid is it. There's nothing else. I mean, you can talk about all the different nonprofits out there trying to do this or trying to do that. Only Legal Aid can be an advocate for the legal rights of people who otherwise can't afford legal services. That can mean the difference between life and death.
And joining us from Jefferson City, and remember, he's only there temporarily. He's coming back to us here in St. Louis to accept this award, is Stuart Berkowitz.
Well, thank you for those those kind words. I'd like to first of all thank Emerson Electric for sponsoring this award, along with the General Counsel, Sarah Bosco. I'm following in the footsteps of some giants, really, like Mel Lewis, Rick Titleman, John Essner, of course, Bill Calpin, people that I actually knew and worked with over the years. And to be mentioned in the same sense as some of those people is really very humbling. I'd also have to thank the people at Legal Aid allowed me to work with them. I got that call in March, right after the CARES Act was passed. And we have to get up to speed and warp speed really quickly with regard to unemployment compensation. So I'm really tempted to say that my award ought to be shared with my wife, Catherine Barry, who just ducked out of the frame, but she's been sitting with me throughout the ceremony. She's a counsel for the Division of Employment Security. And without her, I really could not have gotten up to speed that quickly to be some help with regard to helping the staff get up to speed with regard to unemployment compensation claims. So I feel that I was in the right place at the right time, and I was very happy that I was able to assist in that endeavor. Here in the wonderful capital of Jefferson City, I do have the award. It's traveled halfway through the state, and it's here in Jeff City, and I proudly have it right here. So I'd like to thank giving me the opportunity to participate in this this award ceremony, and on behalf of my wife and myself, I accept this award.
All right, Stuart, it's good to see you from Jefferson City. Thank you for joining us today, and congratulations, and thank you for your dedication and what you do. Our next award is the John R. Essner Young Lawyer of the Year Award. The award recognizes significant pro bono service of an early career attorney. We would also like to take a moment to remember Judge John Essner, who passed away earlier this month. Judge Essner served more than 20 years as an attorney and the director of the Volunteer Lawyers Program with Legal Services of Eastern Missouri. He was appointed to the St. Louis Family Court in 1999. He will be remembered for his caring and dedicated mentorship of young lawyers, legal services. His family is joining us today to watch this presentation, and we are proud to honor his memory with this award. This year, the award goes to Vanna Shaw, an attorney with the St. Louis County Justice Service. Vanna supports families in crisis through her volunteer work. The Volunteers Lawyers Program works with many outstanding young lawyers, people who make pro bono services an integral part of their law practice from the very beginning of their career. Vanna Shaw is one of those individuals, and her support over the past couple of years has been outstanding. Her work focuses on probate matters, helping individuals secure their family matters and guardianships, and helping families ensure the safety, health, and education of their children. These cases often have critical, fast-approaching deadlines. Vanna accepts cases with short notices, and she expertly drafts documents and explains the processes to her clients with a compassionate and confidence that helps put all of these individuals at ease during an extremely difficult and stressful time. Vanna is a testament to the powerful impact young lawyers can have on the lives of those in need.
I've been a lawyer since 2014. During the course of that, I found myself in a lot of positions where, honestly, I just needed help. And so I just wanted to be able to help somebody else, honestly. It started as a volunteer lawyer, I think January of last year. And just whenever Miss Mary Dyson calls me up, I go down, I help. It's mostly been a lot of guardianship cases. A lot of times we talk to people who are in positions where they're unable to maybe care for a child for a short period of time. We just fill out paperwork that allows them to step back for a year or, allow somebody else who they feel is a little more prepared or able to take over for about a year or so. And we fill out paperwork and explain the process to them. So I haven't been on Young Friends Board long. On my time there, I was involved with planning a CLE on eliminating bias in the workplace. I do think it's important always to give back. I think growing up in St. Louis, I am definitely from a community where I've learned that, I am because we are. To some degree, we all depend on each other. We all need one another. And so I don't think that it makes sense, especially for me being from the community that I am, to have become a lawyer and then just use all of my skills and knowledge for myself. And again, just, being somebody who is a mom as well as a caregiver, I understand what it's like to need help. And so I would just encourage anybody, who has the skills or the time to help somebody else out. And what may have been an hour for you to, type up a document, or what may have been, an extra case for you, could actually make a world of difference for somebody else. Sometimes the reward for them far surpasses the sacrifice that you had to make, and I think it's just worth it.
And joining us to accept the award is Vanna Shaw.
I just want to thank Legal Services for giving me this award this year. I really do appreciate it. I feel like I've just been available, but there are so many people who are being awarded today who just do so much work, and I just appreciated being named with these people. So thank you to Miss Mary Dyson for nominating me. It's been a joy working with her for the last year. And then also I just want to say thank you to John Essner in his memory. Thank you also to his wife, Cindy Newsom. She just sent me some kind words, and she told me about John Essner, who unfortunately I was not able to meet, but she said it was always it was always his honor to meet the recipients and to know that there are lawyers dedicated to using their talents to help people who might not otherwise have a voice in the legal system. So I appreciate that. And thank you for the award. Thank you for referring to me as a young lawyer. I don't know if I'll be able to hold on to the title soon, or for too much longer, but I appreciate you all's kind words. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanna. Congratulations. We really appreciate your help and support. next award is the Gerald R. Ortwalls Law Practice Award, given to a law practice that makes a significant contribution as a firm to pro bono representation. This year, the award goes to Paul Kamazine and Blumenthal. Paul Kamazine and Blumenthal is recognized throughout the region for their excellent legal work on a broad range of issues. The firm has always made pro bono service a part of that work and has contributed many hours of legal services over the years, making a real difference in the community. This is especially true with some of the most challenging family law and probate cases. These cases require extensive representation and are the hardest cases to place with volunteer lawyers. Paul Kamazine has always been an exceptional partner, accepting numerous cases and, importantly, taking difficult and time-sensitive cases where high-quality legal assistance is imperative for the safety and security of clients and families. Legal Services is honored to recognize Paul Kamazine and Blumenthal and to thank them for their outstanding firm-wide commitment to pro bono service on behalf of our clients in need.
We do a lot of pro bono work at the firm, and I took it upon myself, or I was charged with putting together and organizing the pro bono cases that come in or requests that come in and finding attorneys who will represent those potential clients. And so now I have a great relationship with Legal Services. The majority of cases that we get from Legal Services are family law cases, so custody, divorce, orders of protection. That's the majority of cases that come in. But we also have an immigration department. We have a department that handles estate planning, business work, rent and possession. So it's really a wide gamut of cases that we can handle. We, as a firm, have made a commitment that we wanted to be involved in pro bono work. Our commitment really is everybody. I mean, everybody from the legal assistants to the paralegals to the attorneys. One reason I think pro bono work is so important is because there is this huge population that does not have accessibility to legal services if they had to pay for it on their own. It's just not possible for them. Being able to provide that service, I think, is something that is really important for every attorney to do. It's something that I feel that we are called to do. Being able to help a client who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford our services is really, really important. Our whole firm is very supportive of pro bono work, and our president, Lisa Moore, she, as a leader of our firm, really encourages the pro bono work. So on a quarterly basis, I keep track of the hours. For the second quarter of 2020, the attorney pro bono hours in our firm was around 175 hours. And I think that that really makes people feel good about the work that they're doing on a daily basis. So one reason I think that pro bono is so important is because there's people that need legal services that don't have the money to pay for their own legal services. But another reason it's really important is that what it does for the people, for the attorney who's providing the service. There's a feeling of knowing that you're really helping somebody, and that for our own mental well-being is something that gives us a little bit of a boost. And providing services, providing pro bono work to people, providing that attention to somebody is so worth that feeling that you get.
And joining us to accept the award is Amy Johnson. She is the pro bono coordinator at the firm.
Hi, everybody. I wish I could be here with my whole firm. This is a firm-wide award, and on behalf of everybody at Paul Kamazine Blumenthal, I am proud to accept this award for the work that everybody here at this firm does for legal services and for the population that legal services serves. We continue to look forward to our relationship with Legal Services of Eastern Missouri, and thank you very much for this award. We will treasure it always.
All right, Amy, thank you for the valuable work your firm provides. Our final award this afternoon is the Media Award, given to a journalist whose work highlights issues of access to justice in our community. As a former awardee in this category, I can tell you it meant a lot to me when I received it, and I know it will mean a lot for today's recipient. I am proud to introduce Jacob Barker of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch as the 2020 winner of the Media Award. Jacob's work focuses on the intersection of business and community. Two major issues Jacob has covered recently include the community economic impact of vacant and abandoned housing across the St. Louis city and the fight to save public housing in Wellston. Working with Legal Services Neighborhood Vacancy Initiative, he has profiled the impact of neighborhood blight in some of the city's most vulnerable communities and the work being done to reverse this decline and to reclaim properties for productive use. Jacob also provided extensive coverage of the recent demolition threat to HUD public housing in the city of Wellston. His articles help demonstrate the devastating impact this would have had on the Wellston community and help to mobilize public support for the Wellston Tenant Association's work, along with the St. Augustine Center and Legal Services, to save Wellston housing. Stories such as these have helped to increase public awareness and greater support for Legal Services work to improving neighborhoods and the quality of life here in the St. Louis region.
The St. Louis Post-Dispatch had been following the case of Wellston and the Wellston Housing Authority for some time. The new administration made it a priority to try and find a solution to save some of the housing, and we began following it very closely. I often cover both politics and business at the Post-Dispatch, and we remain very focused on our public service mission of holding people in power accountable and also amplifying the voices of people without power and making sure that their issues are heard by decision makers in our community, so that positive change can be made for the most vulnerable people in our community. Around a year ago, a decision was fast approaching on whether to tear down the Wellston housing that's owned by the Wellston Housing Authority. And the brakes had kind of been put on it by St. Louis County government following the change in administrations, and that really catalyzed a new momentum for the tenants and some of the work that Lisa D'Souza had been doing to advocate for those people who did not want to move and did not want their homes torn down. I think the traditional news media still plays an invaluable role in keeping the public's focus on a particular issue, especially in issues where the people involved may not have the resources to hire PR firms or hire lobbyists. And that's why Legal Services and the work that they did was so important to advocate for the residents of the Wellston Housing Authority. All the work that the team at Legal Services did really helped us in the media understand this issue and keep it at the forefront of the public discussion in the community.
And joining us to accept the award is Jacob Barker.
Thank you so much. I'm so humbled to know I'm in the company of a lot of very, very accomplished journalists in St. Louis over the years. And, like Legal Services of Eastern Missouri, the Post-Dispatch is dedicated to public service and standing up for those without power, without much of a megaphone. And Legal Services work with the tenants in Wellston was instrumental in giving them the choice to stay in their homes, and their expertise from LSEM was instrumental in our coverage of the issue. So, attorneys at LSEM like Lisa D'Souza deserve the bulk of the credit, as do the tenants at the people at the Wellston Tenants Association. But local journalism does play a role, I think, and can really help in situations like this, and keeping the community focused on issues like this. So please support local journalism along with, public advocates, public lawyers at LSEM. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jacob. Congratulations.
With that, we'd like to say congratulations to all of the awardees and thank you to all of the volunteers who give so much to legal services. As you've seen today, you are making a huge difference right here in St. Louis in the lives of thousands of individuals and families and for the general well-being of our region. It has been my pleasure to help tell this story with you today. A sincere thank you.
And thank you, Chris. Every year when I attend the Common Good Awards, I'm renewed by the enormous generosity and energy of the hundreds of volunteers who help us serve clients and families. I know I speak for all of the staff at Legal Services when I say thank you. Thank you for everything, your time, your expertise, and your support. It's always a vital element of how we serve the community. Now more than ever in our lifetimes, we need your continued support and teamwork as we struggle together through these hard times. Thank you for attending today's event, and we look forward to working with you to find more ways to help those in need. Be well and be safe.